Heyo, it's me, Harper Savage, and today I think it's about time we start doing some back to school stuff. So I went to Five Below recently and all their back to school stuff was out, so I went ahead and grabbed some things. By some things, I mean, why is there fur here? By some things, I mean, what was it, like one thing? And what caught my eye was these liquid gel pens, because I thought gel pens meant not super liquidy, was the impression I was under what gel pens are, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. But yep, here's the packaging. They look like liquid inside of a pen, so let's open them and take a look. I appreciate the attempt at rainbow order here, but there's a brown in the middle that I do not get out. Appreciate. Well, we gotta pop them all out anyways. It was close to rainbow order. Where do you put Peach in the rainbow? I'm gonna turn all their little clips to the side there because they're reflecting everywhere. It won't be aesthetic looking, but still. Where are all these crumbs coming from? All right, let's take a closer look at these before we start doing anything. Let me pick up one where you can, whoa. Let me pick up one where you can see the inside. So there's the bubbles in there to prove that it really is liquid. And I'm like afraid to twist that top because I don't know what that's gonna do. We have one of those filter looking ends. I'm not really sure what to consider that. And it looks like a regular pen on the end, so nothing too special. I bet it's like 0.07 or whatever that size is. So I got my little book here that I usually test out pens and stuff in. Let's turn to a blank page. Flip that down because that's going to keep flying. Well, I guess I'll just put the pens on top. All right, so let's see how they work, if they work, because I don't actually see it down in the, like, tip yet. And there's no instructions on the paper. Well, it works right away. Oh, look at that. It's already, like, leaking out. See that? That could be a problem. We'll see. Actually, I was gonna be like, that part's covered. It's definitely not covered. I need a towel. A little alarming, I feel. Well, that looks just orange to me, not even peach. You're gonna have to excuse my handwriting, okay? Uh-oh. This one's green. The one's like yellowy green, so let me just put like yellow at the end of it. I thought that was going to be more of a navy blue. It looks kind of more indigo to me. All right, so we have a pretty good color range. They wrote pretty nice. I feel like they're a little bit more scratchy than I prefer. I prefer like super smooth feeling pens, but some people do like the scratchiness of digging into the paper and killing your enemies or whatever. I would say those are definitely two different colors in my eyes, but I don't think that's a peach. I think that's just a more orange, and this is like a reddish orange. I guess this could be navy blue. I feel like it's more indigo though. Honestly, I feel like I can see more green than like purple in it, so maybe it's like a dark cerulean, but whatever, that doesn't matter. Whatever you call those colors, they are different looking. And it's kind of interesting that we got a brown instead of a black, but I guess everybody has like a black pen, right? Okay, so now we have to do some other tests, like how quickly they dry, if they smudge, with highlighters and all that jazz, because it's what makes it kind of like a school supply, right? See if you can use it with other school supplies. So I grabbed 3 different highlighters. We have the Sharpie Take Note, the Zebra Mild Liner, and this gel highlighter to see how they work together. So I'm going to choose a color that will obviously smudge, if it will smudge. I want to do purple. No, let's do the indigo color. I keep talking about it, so why not? So, what word shall we write this time? Isn't it funny how, like, back to school, what used to be BTS, and then there was that K-pop group, or whatever they were, that was BTS, and now I see a lot of people using BTS as behind the scenes. Like, can we please make up our minds? It's very confusing for someone old like me, I guess. Okay, so let's do Sharpie, Zebra, and Gel. I know, like, I didn't put pen and gear. I put the brands for the other two, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a fair chance to dry here. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna take another color and see if it smudges. I'm gonna use pink, just so if it does come off on my finger, it won't be as noticeable and I won't freak out about it being on my finger. So let's do a little smudge. Ready? What? Do another color. Maybe one that'll stick out a bit more. That is gonna be incredible if this dries fast. Oh my goodness. There was no smooching. I am, like, concerned about this happening, though. Like, you see that? How the color is not coming out of just the pen tip. It's coming out of everywhere. So I feel like these could explode, but we'll see. Okay, let's do the Sharpie. No smudge. Zebra, little smudge. Very subtle, though. And the gel. No smudge. But that's crazy how it didn't smudge. So are these like the perfect solution to back to school pens? I don't know. Still worried about that leaking. Let me see, if I just wipe it off, will it come back, right? Like, let's see. Like, maybe it's just left over from the factory. We don't know. Sure, it's nice and clean. All right, see, that's clean. Like, maybe it's fine. We won't know. It might take a little bit of time. All right, let's also do the cap test. See if it'll stay on. Yeah. What is this for? Like, I'm concerned. Should I be messing with this? Oh. Oh, okay. Well, is it gonna come out? No. Okay, okay. I don't know what this is for. Maybe someone can enlighten me. So the cap test works. I do have some ink on my finger, probably because I touched it without realizing it. I guess next let's compare it to, you know, my favorite brand, which is the Papermate Inkjoy gel pens. Let's do a dry time comparison. It might be hard because this dried really fast. And neither of them smudged. So I would say the Papermate is a little bit more smoother of a pen, but they seem to look like they're the same size with their nib. This is 7, and I guessed that this was 7 earlier. So if you're looking for something like Papermate, these might be a good substitution. Is that the word I'm looking for Papermate? There are quite the amount of colors here. But I guess let's just do a little bit of doodling here to really fluff this video a little bit. I don't know. This is an art channel, after all. We should doodle, right? Okay, so let's do that. Alright, now that I'm all done with my doodling, I think it's time we flipped over to see the backside of the page to see if there was any bleed or ghosting. So that is, ignore that. I don't even remember what product that was. But it's mostly ghosting. There's a little bit of bleed when I went over the Five Below part a couple of times. This is also Amazon printed paper. So imagine copy paper, if you're familiar with that. So you can kind of guess how it's going to do on other types of paper. That moon did bleed a little bit too, but again, it's mostly ghosting. Wherever I hovered around with the pen for a few seconds is where it did the bleeding part. So keep that in mind, and I kind of suspected that's what was going to happen because it's such a, like a more liquidy type of ink than what I consider a gel pen, but I'm also not somebody who knows formulas or anything of how anything works. I'm just going off of intuition and vibes. I want to go ahead and check how the brown's doing now that we used it a little bit more, giving it time. I can't remember, was that little bit there? I'm gonna say it wasn't because I wiped it off so easy. So it will leak over time, so the best way to store these would probably be like this. Not on its side, and not in a pencil case, unfortunately, but up and down if possible. I'm gonna go see if I can wash this off of my fingers well, because if they do this leaking things, we're gonna want to know how staining it is, right? So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go over some final thoughts and opinions. I'm sure I've already said them during the video, but just for rapid fire. Here are my hands after the washing. It didn't come off right there, and it came off mostly on my finger, so it's going to take a couple of washes. So that probably means your clothes are going to be stained if you get them on your clothes. Okay, so those pens do stain. I've been scrubbing at my silicone mat. I didn't realize any ink had gotten anywhere, but just in case you were curious. And because they do this leaking thing, it already came back. It's only been a couple of minutes since I last wiped it off. They are not going to be good for being in pencil cases, unless you have some kind of magical upright position pencil case. I have a standing one, but like, realistically, is it going to be standing in your bag? Like, think about it that way. So these are going to have to be stored like this. I do think they are comparable to the Papermate Inkjoy gels in how they write and how quickly they dry. They also have a great variety of colors. So I personally think that they are worth picking up if you're somebody who is just like a bullet journaler. Maybe not necessarily somebody going to school and using them at school though. But that is going to be it from me today. If you guys want to check out another back to school supply video, you can tap the thumbnail here. If you want to catch up on anything you missed, you can tap the thumbnail here. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all the cool YouTube things like commenting, liking, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.